folks? How you doing? A little late for the podcast, but I know, hey, life takes over. You got to go do stuff. You got to go out. Stuff doesn't, food doesn't come into the house automatically. So we had to go do that stuff. So anyway, we are now able to eat. So there you go. The music you're hearing is from Topher Moore and Alex Elena. It's called Stalling. Stalling by Topher Moore and Alex Elena. You can find that on YouTube if you'd like to go check out the rest of what they do. It's over on YouTube. Topher, Topher, Moore, Mohr, and Alex Elena, Elena. Thank you guys. There you go. Appreciate that very much. Anywho. Big groan, long day today. There's a lot going on, considering that we have to really understand what's going on. We have to understand it, because if we don't, then how are we going to be able to progress from one day to the next? How are we going to take care of ourselves if we don't know what is going on? Paul Joseph Watson over at InfoWars, 1st of August 2017, says YouTube to censor quote-unquote controversial videos. Is this the end of free speech on YouTube? YouTube is giving the ADL, a group that thinks a cartoon frog is hate speech, the power to police hate speech. What could possibly go wrong? So there you go. That's going up on American Liberty Radio podcast. Censorship has been around a long, long time. And it's been in many different forms. And it's been categorized in many different ways. And operates under certain elements of government and of state and all of that. But the bottom line is, it's going to get worse. No, I'm not going to use that old cliche line that it's going to get worse before it gets better. No. It's going to get worse. There's no doubt about that. Okay? We know that we're going to be censored. We just feel lucky that some of us are not. And when you really get down to it, when you really get down to the nuts and bolts and all of that, you're going to see a tremendous amount, a good majority of people who are for censorship of anyone who disagrees with them. And mostly they're the Progressive Party, the Democratic Socialist and the Republican Fascist. And they're going to be all out trying to end the free speech of you and I so that their voice can be the only voice heard. Okay? This is what is happening. Owen Schroyer over at InfoWars, over at Infowars.com, 1st of August 2017. A House Judiciary Committee has now requested a special counsel to investigate Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Loretta Lynch, and others associated with Clinton during the campaign and her time as Secretary of State. That's up on American Liberty Radio podcast. Whoops. Click the wrong button. There we go. I'm going to say this. I'm putting a lot of videos up on American Liberty Radio podcast because that's mostly what I'm clicking on. It's the headlines I'm clicking on. They have massive videos in it, or it's just a video. So I'm going to put this up as well. Microchipped Wisconsin company praised by leftist media. You see where the censorship is leading? Well, not really censorship. It's a whole different ballgame there. Microchipped. Remember years ago when your animal was chipped? They came out with these little microchips, these little RFID chips to inject into the scruff of the neck of your dog or cat. It's a lifesaver because I've read stories where dogs and cats have been returned to their owners because they, were scanned. And thankfully, that happened. But when that first was reported on many years ago, I told my mother at the time, I said, you watch, this is going to be pushed for human consumption, for, being out in the market, for public use and all of it. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Here it is almost 30 years later. And we have them under the skin of people in Wisconsin. Now, if this is a true story, it's a video, so if this is a true story, and you guys can verify this, yeah, scary, isn't it? Now, the other thing is, and I really don't want to sound like an alarmist, but it says here on the 1st of August, 2017, Infowars.com, watch live, breaking, Google admits plan to censor patriot and conservative views on YouTube, tech giant joins with far-left groups to control speech online. Infowars' David Knight breaks down the day's biggest news stories, including the newly announced plan by Google to further censor the viewpoints of conservatives on YouTube. There it is right there. There it is. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. It's up on American Liberty Radio podcast. You guys go check it out. If you would, please, thank you. The only thing that I can say in regards to that is that we need to find some other place than Google. And I have found it. Startpage.com. Now, I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna type this. You're gonna hear this. And ranking of search engine companies like Google. Okay, ranking meaning who's first. Okay. Say goodbye to Google. Let me tell you this. SearchEngineWatch.com. I'm telling you exactly where to go, folks. SearchEngineWatch.com. Say goodbye to Google. 14 alternative search engines. You've got Bing, Microsoft. You've got DuckDuckGo. I use that one too. Quora. Dogpile. Vimeo. Yandex. This is a Russian portal offering many similar products and services as Google, and it's the dominant search engine in Russia. Board Reader. Okay. Wolfram Alpha. Wolfram, WOLFRAM, Alpha, ALPHA. Xquick, That's also a startpage.com. That's basically their not predecessor, the one they did before startpage.com. There's ask.com, SlideShare, Addictomatic is another web search engine, Creative Commons search, Giphy, I use Giphy a lot, and there's a lot of them, okay? There's just a ton of them, okay? And I'm not going to tell you what the comments say, but I'm going to tell you I've used Bing, and they are, when you're looking for specific keywords, it's like their algorithm looks for the keywords that you want, like conspiracy theories or, whatever it may be. And sometimes they'll just completely block it, I don't know why, but that's just what they do. I'm on Bing.com now. Let me look, and I will give you a rundown. Oh, guess what? I have to correct myself. They do have sites here about conspiracy theories. I stand corrected on the 1st of August, 2017. Okay? Huh. Interesting. So, there you go. You can go back, search, what was it? Oh crap, I forgot what it was. Search Engine Watch. SearchEnginesWatch.com. Go look that up. Infowars.com, 1st of August 2017. There's a video. Freedom fighter expose illegal migrant invasion by pedophile globalist. Submit your entry before 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on Friday, August 4th for your chance to win. Infowars $20,000 folk song cover contest has entered its final week as entries continue to flood in. Yeah. There's videos here. Go check them out. Go check it out. I'm just letting you know it's out there. Go check that out if you like, if you don't mind. So there you go. Anywho, let's go back here. Let's go to KremlinRunRT.com. Yeah, RT.com is funded by the Russians. That's the only thing that the Russians have their fingers in when it comes to America. NATO jets violate Finland airspace while intercepting Russian planes. We are looking at World War III, folks. I don't want to hear anybody else's comment on that. I know, because when you put 2 and 2 together, that adds up to 4. When you look at the current trends and the current military action over by China and over by North Korea, we are headed into World War III. And like I said, like I said earlier, I don't want to sound like an alarmist, but we are heading into World War III. Adding fuel to the fire, Russia blasts U.S. plans to supply lethal arms to Ukraine. RT announces War Reporter Award in honor of slain Syrian correspondent Khalid Al-Khatib. This is all on RT.com, folks. You can go there and check that out yourself. As a general rule, Trump administration adds another military general to civilian leadership. Pentagon awards $3.7 billion advance to Lockheed for 50 F-35 fighter jets. Senate confirms new FBI Director Christopher Wray. There you go. Russian politics. Moscow vows asymmetrical retaliation in response to Polish monuments bill. Putin signs bill banning web and what's the VPN, or virtual protected network, or whatever it is. Yeah, he bans those. He signed a bill banning those. So you can't get around their firewalls. So you can't get out into the internet. You can't get the news. You can't get anything. He's literally signed a bill to ban those, those, what is it? Anonymizers? Is that what it is? Anonymizers? Yeah. You have to give up your real name. You have to, yeah. The bill was drafted in early June this year and passed by both chambers of the Russian parliament early this month. Its sponsors were lawmakers from three parliamentary caucuses: the Majority Party, United Russia, the Communist Party, and the center-left opposition Fair Russia. They noted that bans issued on certain websites by Russian courts and state agencies for publishing extremist or dangerous information were contradicted by the fact that those restrictions could be easily circumvented by using readily available web tools. The proposed countermeasure include a ban on websites, hardware, and software that allow users to bypass the restrictions and mainly target so-called anonymizers and virtual private networks that allow users to pretend that they are operating from outside of Russia. So there you go. That one's going up on American Liberty Radio podcast. Censorship, folks. I'll give you an example. If in your neighborhood, if I was in your neighborhood and I saw something going down and I came to you and I said, hey, look at this. This is what's happening in your area. This is what's happening in your town. And you said, oh, that's a bunch of crap. But I showed you the proof and the truth and the facts of it all, and you still denied it. You are in that group of people, or probably would be in that group of people fighting to censor my news to the rest of the neighborhood. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to even know it's out there. You don't want that negative stuff ruining your life, anything like that. So you're going to try to shut me down. And this is what people are doing now. There are groups that want to shut down people. Want to shut down your free speech, want to shut down your Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment. They want to tear up and put the Constitution and the Bill of Rights into a paper shredder. They don't care. I've talked to people like that many, many years ago, and let me tell you, they're nothing but hardcore communists. I told you what a communist leader, Vladimir Putin, is doing. He's shutting off all ways for people, his Russian citizens, to get any news about anything that is bad, and he's trying to shut down other areas to stop people from disseminating the information that they get. Oh, believe me, United States of America and Washington, D.C. is not the only place that have people that leak information. I put that in air quotes. Okay? We're dealing with a bunch of psychopaths in the world. Kim Jong-un, the leader of China. Kim Jong-un is the leader of North Korea. The leader of China, who's following in the footsteps of Mao Zedong. We're dealing with Russian President Vladimir Putin. We're dealing with members of Congress of the United States of America, not President Trump himself. Although, we're dealing with a bunch of psychopaths in the rest of the world. But my question is this: why all of it? Why are we doing what we do? Why is the governments of the world doing what they do? Because for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years, leadership has always had, either in the forefront of their mind or in the back of their mind, to completely control the populace to do exactly what they want done, and not give the populace the freedoms and liberties that they so deserve, because they are human beings, not pawns in a political chess game played by various psychopathic leaders all over the country. I don't really give one rip about who has a differing opinion than mine, because I'll tell you why. It's real simple. You have a different perspective than I do, and you're seeing things a lot differently than I do. And it does not matter to me what it is you're seeing, because I look at the same thing you're looking at, and I know the truth and I know the facts. Well, I know the truth and facts. No, you don't. And I've tested that on various people throughout the last 40 years of my research into geopolitical issues and subjects. And guess what? 100% of the time when I called them on the carpet about something, they just sat there with their mouth gaping open. Just, So they had absolutely no clue what they were doing. Hell, I haven't even changed. I can tell you this much. I haven't even changed anybody's mind. They themselves found out that they were completely wrong and changed their mind on their own. So I had no influence in that. I know this because years later they'd come to me and go, I remember a couple of years ago you were talking about, so. And that's why I give you the websites. That's why I give you the information. I know you guys are smart enough to go out and look it up on for yourself on your own. And besides, I'm not going to give you any of the answers. The answer bank is closed, people. I'm giving you leads, clues, ideas. I encourage you to go look this stuff up. See it for yourself. Assess it for yourself. And as Alex Jones says, and as Glenn Beck has said in the past, and as Rush Limbaugh probably says, I don't know, I haven't heard him say this, but, don't believe me. Go check this stuff out on your own. Okay? So anyway, I find it, and I know this, and I've been there, and I've done this, and I've reaped the consequences of this. When people literally when people are completely and utterly stupid, when they cannot even see the obvious in front of them, okay? How are they ever going to understand what is going on? How? To me, from my perspective, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. How is anybody going to see what's right or wrong if they don't look at everything, not just a little narrow-minded, got your blinders on subject where you don't want to see anything else because it's going to disturb your day or upset your paradigm or, it'll go against everything you were brainwashed to believe. How can you not look at everything? How can you not look at everything and just say, wait a minute, there's something here and okay. I tell people sometimes you have to, and I borrow this from a famous movie, you have to unlearn what you have learned. And what I mean by that is don't obsess over those things you think you believe and you think you know. Really get down into the crux of the matter and find those answers you're looking for. Because I'm living proof, and I'm a good example that you shouldn't believe everything you hear. Keep on digging, because I swear to goodness you are going to find the answer for you, not from me, but the answers for what you're looking for. I can give you the websites and I can talk to you about, read you some of the articles and all that, but you guys need to see it. Okay? By the way, let me give you a heads up on something. And every so often, well, I shouldn't say every so often. Every 2 or 3 hours or so, or throughout the day, I check my statistics on Spreaker.com, and it shows all over the world where I'm listened to. Excuse me, holy crap. And let me tell you, I am broadcasting from Billings, Montana, and the plays that my network gets, it's quite a few. The United States of America, 95.01%, and Billings, Montana is 66.58%. That's number one. I'm not going to give you all the percentages of all 9 entries of where I'm being listened to, but I will tell you where I'm being listened to, and that is Canada, the UK, France, Mexico, Norway, Bolivia, Australia, Finland, and Kazakhstan. Did not know they had the internet there. In the United States, I'm being heard in Billings, in Hedgeville, West Virginia, which is a few miles away from Washington, D.C., Mountain View, California, Janesville, Wisconsin, Lima, Ohio, Manchester, UK, Lebanon, Kentucky, Doniphan, Missouri, Fort Gibson, Oklahoma, and Dublin, Ohio. That's where I'm being listened to, folks. All around the world and a lot of places in the U.S. So people want peace, freedom, liberty, and security for their own country, and I guarantee you they're going to get it, because I can almost, well, I'm going to guess. I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark here, and I'm going to guess. There are more people in these other countries than there are leaders in these other countries, and I'm pretty sure that the people can step up to the plate and defend themselves as human beings for their own human rights and do what they have to do. I'm sure. But then you have corrupt military, you have corrupt leaders, you have all sorts of people all over the world in these leadership positions that say, no, we're not going to allow the people to do anything. So what they do is they enslave the people and create laws and regulations to suppress anybody's movement, and they can't say anything, they can't go meet with people, they can't, Did I tell you that the United States of America wants a Chinese-style internet? Oh, screw the fairness doctrine from the Clinton era. Screw the censorship of conservative, and controversial subjects on YouTube. No. The United States of America and most congressmen, Democratic, Socialist, and Republican Fascist, and the Progressive Party want Chinese-style censorship in the U.S. They don't want our voices being heard. Well, bite me. Our voice is going to be heard, and all the voices of freedom and liberty in the United States will be heard. So, hey, government, NSA, CIA, bite me in the ass. Got it? Because we're going to have what we want. And we're going to find those treasonous bastards in Congress, and we're going to have them arrested, and we're going to throw their ass in Gitmo. You don't think so? Just watch 200 million people with over 600 million guns. Yes, go look at the statistics, Mr. CIA officer. You know it. It's going to be our way, not your way. Am I calling for a coup? No, I'm calling for reasonable discussions so that won't happen. You understand? I'll be back in 2 minutes. This is American Liberty Radio.weebly.com. American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com. Sharing the truth, one fact at a time, without all the BS. The reality underneath the honesty. LiveTruthRadio.com. Check out Late Night in the Midlands with your host Michael Vera at LateNightInTheMidlands.com, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Go to LateNightInTheMidlands.com. The world as we know it has been turned upside down. The leaders are faced with possible annihilation from their enemies. The United States is at the brink of a total collapse. This is the reality we live in. What can be done? The truth, the facts. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back. This is American Liberty Radio Network, American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com and AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. We're working on the main website. We're going to make it nicer for you. So hang out. I'll let you know when it's up. In the meantime, go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. If you want to advertise on the network, please consider it, because it's a win-win situation for both of you. Both of us, both of you. Yeah, if you have a partner in your business, it is. So it's a win-win situation for you and I if you want to advertise on American Liberty Radio Network. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page, and all the information is right there. Those, as of October 1st, those prices are going to go up, but I'm still not out to break your advertising budget. I may have a bigger deal for you come October 1st. So there you go. I got some things I got to look at through August and September. I got some options to look at, some things to consider, and then October 1st, I'm going to make my decision, and that week things are going to change. Again, I'm not out to break your advertising budget, so consider advertising on American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page. Check out all the information. If you don't want to advertise, there's two buttons down there. One says Become a Patron, so, go ahead. Drop your mocha money right there into the kitty and help us keep the lights on around here. Or you can donate through PayPal. So thank you very much. Onward and upward to crazier things in the news. How's that? Let's go to the government section of Infowars.com. Insane psychology of the left exposed. The psychology of liberal leaders is partly responsible for the left's demise. Are they truly insane? Kind of an interesting question, isn't it? Well, that's a video, so I'm going to put that up as well on the American Liberty Radio podcast. So anyway, was I calling for a coup against the government in the last segment? No, I wasn't. What I was doing was, and I could have said it better, yes, I know. We need to sit down with people, and we need to make sure that there is no, that somebody doesn't start a civil war in this country. But if it comes to it, and it happens, I'm ready to defend this nation and my neighbors with everything I got. I'm just saying. So we need to discuss this. We need to stop all of that crap in its tracks. And we need to make sure that these leftists, these progressives of the Democratic, Socialist, and Republican Fascist Party are, let's just say, charged with treason and have their ass thrown in prison. Do you know what the penalty was for treason back in the Civil War? You got shot on sight right there. You know what the verdict of desertion was? Yeah, you got shot on sight. They didn't mess with you. You're not loyal to the United States of America, so you're going to go down. And all these insane leftists, these progressives, know this. So they're pulling out all the stops to try to stop everybody like you and I coming to get them, you know. So I'm not calling for a coup. I'm calling for the defense of America as we know it, as we understand it. The 1st of August 2017, The Alex Jones Show. Communist China is taking control of Hollywood. Foreign powers are pushing their propaganda on Americans. Alex Jones breaks down the foreign influence slowly entering the United States through the political sphere, and especially the entertainment industry as China purchases Hollywood. Did they purchase Hollywood? We'll find out. Well, there's a lot of places in California that China literally just bought. It's business. No, it's not. China wants to, China has the power and the ability and the law on their side in America. They can walk right in here and take whatever they want because we owe them trillions of dollars, or at least a couple of $100 billion. Okay? So, yeah, they have the right to walk right in here and take whatever they want. It doesn't really matter to them. They'll just, they'll do it. They'll do it. And honestly, myself personally, I don't know why they haven't done it before now. So, think about this for a minute before I get into this next article. Think about this just for 1 second here. You have your own life to think about. Whatever it is you want to do. You want to go to Hollywood, you want to do stuff, you want to or you want to go camping, or you want to go fishing, or you want to go, whatever it is you want to do. Think about this for a minute. Why do we have to have a license to do anything? Like go fishing, go hunting, start a business. Why? Because government wants your money. Government wants your money. You go back over 200 years ago, or maybe even 300 years ago to 1717, or maybe 1817, or maybe even 1857. And how many people had to go to their local area, to their local mayor or whoever, and get a business license to start a business? That didn't start happening until after the turn of the 20th century. It's kind of an odd thing to say, isn't it? I mean, seriously. How did everything work prior to 1913? Quite well, I think. 1st of August, 2017, Infowars.com. The war on cars is a war on the Constitution. Owning a car gives you freedoms the government doesn't want you to have. Automotive expert Lauren Fix, known as the Car Coach, explains why governments prefer citizens who use public transportation over people who drive their own cars. Environmentalists and big government have teamed up against automakers, costing companies and consumers hundreds of thousands of dollars. Due to government regulations, car prices are raised, hurting middle-class Americans who wish to purchase vehicles. One hypocrisy is that electric vehicles produce 3 times as much toxic pollution as gas-powered ones, after factoring in the mining of rare earth minerals that batteries for electric vehicles require. Owning a car is an important part of the American culture, and that should not be overlooked or regulated by control-freak politicians. This is going up on American Liberty Radio Network. The question I have for you folks is, when are you going to rebel? No, seriously. When are you going to rebel against all this bullcrap? I can't have a license I have to have a license to go fishing. I can't go fish. I have to have a license to conduct myself in a professional manner when it comes to business. Really? Out of all that, folks, I want to ask this question. What happened to common sense? What happened to common sense? Julie Fiedler, Infowars.com, 1st of August 2017. Did an EPA official collude with Monsanto by tilting research? Monsanto may have used third parties to pay off EPA official. Really? I am going to put that article. I'm not even going to read any part of that. I want you guys to read it and go from there. Assess it yourself and draw your own conclusions on that. Everybody has a different perspective, folks. You get 10 people in a room, you bring up a subject, they're going to have 10 different opinions about it. They're going to have 10 different perspectives about it. No kidding. I'm serious. So if you can do this, conduct a little test. Find 10 people that you know. I'm sure you have 10 friends. Have them come over and then, tell them what kind of a test you're conducting. Just say, here's what I want to do. And you tell them what you want to do. Put 10 people in a circle, or somewhat of a circle. You grab up any book off of your, grab 3 so you can have enough in the test to really have a controlled subjects and then, see what happens. What you want to do is grab some books off the shelf, maybe 1 or 2, hold them, and in the middle of your friends, verbally say, bring up a subject and get their views on that particular subject. Just give me a brief, 1 minute, view on that. And then take one of the books, put it down on the table in the middle of them, and turn around and look at them and go, tell me about this book. I'm going to go walk off over here. You guys, I'm going to be out here looking at you, taking notes. So I want you guys, don't even, just whatever your view is on that. Then when they're done with that, or you figure it's going to take a little time for them to discuss that, however long that is, could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Do it again with the second book you have in your hand. And go from there. If you want to do it with more books, that's fine. But I wouldn't go any more than 4. I'm just saying 2 to make it simple. But the first thing you do is bring up a subject with them all and then watch how they react. You're going to find out that at least a third of those people, probably 3 of them, know everything there is to know. Well, I've said everything. They'll know a good portion of what you've talked about in the beginning. They'll know a good portion of the book you put down and the second book you put down. They'll know it. Only about 3 out of those 10 people. The rest of them, they won't know crap. Okay? They won't know a thing. Okay? And it's sad. Because that tells me, just on that example, I haven't done this test yet with anybody, but just on that example, as I'm giving you instructions to do this, I would say that if 3 people out of those 10 know more than the other 7, we got a sad educational system in this country. We do. I remember in high school when I was getting into studying geopolitics and geopolitical issues and subjects that I found out even my history teachers did not know what I was talking about. Oh, I would look at the textbooks and I would tell the teachers, hey, did you know that this is wrong right here? This is, I know this because I've got books at home, older than this, and I've looked this up. This is bogus right here. You know what they told me? Oh, we just have to go with the curriculum that's given to us, or something of that nature. You mom and dads out there in the United States, you've had to deal with so much as your kids were going to school. Now they're probably in high school or probably on their way to college. Why don't you ask them a question? Why don't you have them bring home their history book? Have them bring home their American history book, their world history book. Have them bring that home. And if you have any books older than you, show them the comparison. Show them, compare the two books. I know some fathers and some mothers still have their books from college. So do that. And then you tell them who's lying. They're going to know just by you doing that what they're learning is bogus. Everything you know, everything you thought you knew that you've learned from school, moms and dads, is a bunch of bull. And they are so brainwashing your children. Go look for the book by Charlotte Iserby, or Iserbit, I think it is. Charlotte Iserby. It's, I can't, I know the last name is spelled funny, but it's Iserbit. I think it's Iserbyt. Charlotte Iserby, something. The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. She was second in command in the Department of Education under Ronald Reagan. Go look that up. The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. There's other books out there that really get into the meat and potatoes of education from the 1940s on up to the 1970s. And you will see that it was had absolutely nothing to do with educating your children as to history, math, whatever. Had nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing. Had everything to do with confusing the crap out of them, enslaving their minds into their fascist dictatorial bullcrap. And if you don't believe me, and I'm not asking you to, go and check it out yourself. Take your book from your high school or from your college and you compare the notes and the subject matter from your kids' books from their high school or college. You're going to find it's totally different. Hell, I thrived in history because I knew the true answers, but to get my credit and get out of class, I had to do it their way. I knew they were full of bull crap, but I had to go do it their way anyway. Okay? So, this is what that big old building in your city is for, the thing called a library, has all those books in it. Yeah, you might want to go check out some older books, older than the ones that you even had in school, and you might get the right answers at that point. But it was in the 1950s that the Rockefeller Foundation, the Ford Foundation, all of them that were funding and putting together the education department of the United States. You know, they said, oh, here's what we want to do. Their whole plan, it's all spelled out in several documents that are there. Our own government left the door wide open for us to see this stuff. Okay? Go look for The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. The deliberate dumbing, if I learn how to spell, dumbing down of America. Go look, I'm putting it in my search engine right now. There it is, the Deliberate Dumbing Down, deliberatedumbingdown.com. Go there. Deliberate Dumbing Down, that's D-U-M-B as in boy, Down. DeliberateDumbingDown.com. I was right. ISERBYT. Charlotte Thompson Iserby. Okay? Yeah. There's an ebook available. All of it. DeliberateDumbingDown.com. I've only got a few minutes left, but I want to say this, that sometimes, and I don't apologize for what I say, and I'm not going to. Now, if I say it in such a way to where it offends you and triggers you and all of that, tough, get thicker skin. If you don't like what I say, don't listen. There's a whole bunch of shows on Spreaker.com and elsewhere to listen to. Bye-bye. If you don't want to listen to what I'm saying. But all I want to encourage you to do is don't believe anything I say. Go out and check it out yourself. That's why I read you some of the articles. I give you the websites. I encourage you to go out and assess these situations on your own and draw your own conclusions on them. You don't have to believe me. But if something rings true within you with what I say, then obviously you're listening to me for a reason and I'm on the right track. So, number one, I don't apologize for anything I say. Number two, I don't apologize for the way I say it. Sometimes I get a little anxious. Sometimes I get a little pissed. But it's understandable. And number three, I sure as hell ain't going to take back what I say. Because in 2014, in December of 2014, I told all my listeners then that I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to call people out. I'm going to call them out on the carpet about everything under the sun, and I don't care what they say. Now, flip the coin over. If they want to sit down and have a decent discussion with me or call into the show and have a decent discussion with me, I am all for that. But they better have something to back it up with. If not, I'm hanging up. That's just the way it is. If you're not going to be smart enough to bring the information to the table of debate and we can discuss it, don't bother. My mama didn't raise no fool and my grandma taught me better, and I'll be damned if I'm going to have some ignorant person sitting across the table from me that doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. And let me grab another coin here. Using the coin metaphor, look on one side of it and I'll say this. I'm honest because people deserve it. I'm truthful because the evidence is there. The information is there, the evidence is there, everything is sitting in front of me. I know what it is, but that doesn't stop me from continuing to look and dig and, find all these things out. That I'm constantly learning something new every day. So on one side of the coin, let me say this. You don't know everything either. So you better shut your damn mouth and start learning something new. And don't obsess over the things you got brainwashed to believe, because that ain't going to happen. You want to sit down and have a decent discussion with me in a debate, we'll do that. But you better have your information sitting in front of you, or I ain't giving you 10 seconds of my time. That's just the way it is. Flip that coin over. If we do have a debate and a discussion and we come to a conclusion and we find that we're not quite on the same page, but we can, respect one another's views, I'll shake your hand and buy you coffee. Well, figuratively speaking. Because that's the way I live. That's the way I am. That's the way I'm honest. I'm upfront. I'm in your face. Don't like it? There's the door. Bye. Have a nice day. If you like it and want to know, great. Sit down. Let's talk. If you don't want to talk, just listen. If you have questions, please ask. You can ask me anything you want. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. It's that simple. Mama didn't raise no fool and Grandma taught me better. And I didn't learn all of this stuff in high school because that was a bunch of crap. I was farther ahead of my class intellectually and academically than, and I think I was one of only a few that were ahead of everybody. I was in the 9th grade doing 12th grade math and college level English, equivalent to somebody being in college for a year and a half. So I don't want to hear anybody, bitch at me about, well, you don't know anything. Really? Yeah. Are there people out there smarter than I am? Oh, you bet. And I'm more than happy to sit down with them and ask them questions and learn something new. Why? Because that's the way I am. That's the way it makes a whole lot of difference when you just shuffle off that brainwashed bullcrap you were given years ago and start learning something new every day. When I began to do that years ago, and this is back, mid-'80s, when I began to do that, it was like a 10,000-pound weight taken off my shoulder. I walked around with my head held high going, you know what? That stuff I'm hearing on the news, that crap, it's a bunch of bull crap. And I knew it. I knew it. Hey, give me another piece of transparency here. I didn't register to vote until I was 29, and then I stopped voting just about 3 years ago. And I got done with it. I was done. I was done. I was done. I just wasn't going to put up with any more bullcrap. I'm nonpartisan. I don't care about political parties. I think they need to be abandoned and abolished. I think people, you and I, need to have a direct access to the election process. I don't think we need delegates. I don't think we need the Electoral College. Somebody's going to say, well, if we didn't have the Electoral College, Hillary would be president. No, when you look at the actual numbers and you get rid of all of the numbers from the Electoral College, Donald Trump won anyway. So go look the numbers up. Okay, so we don't need any of that crap. Okay? We don't. And I'm even going to say something that some people might find controversial. But I think Social Security, disability, Social Security, retirement, blah, 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 all that needs to be privatized. Yeah, you can set your money away in an IRA, in a KEOG, in a 401. That's fine. But somebody else is investing your money. I'm not a financial expert, but I believe that Social Security disability, Social Security, the supplement, Social Security, social, whatever it is, SSI, whatever, all of that should be privatized. And none of it should be taxed. I should be able to take all of my money and invest a portion of it in whatever company I want. And if I make a dividend or pull that money out to give it to myself, in other words, profit, then yes, then I should be taxed flat tax across the board at 15%. If I want to spend that money and not have anything and not invest, that's my right to do so. But it all should be privatized and all my money should be in my pocket when I get to the point of where I want to retire. That's just the way it is. Now, some of you might say, that's a good theory. Well, then crunch the numbers and send them to me. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Crunch the numbers. Tell me why that won't work. Tell me why that won't work. I want to know. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. I got to get out of here, folks. Sorry about posting the podcast so late, but hey, stuff happens. Talk to you guys later. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com.